Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Rich. I'm with RKAthletics. Thank you very much for joining me here today as we break down 3 of the most bastardized exercises that you'll see inside the gym, in my opinion. So these are 3 exercises that you can almost walk into any gym in the world and see that they're being done ineffectively and improperly. So what we're gonna go through today is why these exercises are being done improperly, how we can fix it, and how we can make the most out of these exercises so that you see the results that you deserve to see. So if you're not sure if you're doing certain exercises right or wrong, that is what I'm here to help with. So make sure that you check out any of the links in the description, contact me, let's chat and see if there's a way that we can help you out in terms of getting the results that you deserve. But without further ado, let's get into 3 of the most bastardized exercises inside the gym as determined by me. All right, so exercise number 1 that we're gonna be going through is the side lateral raise. Yes, dumbbell side lateral raise. It's a great exercise for our shoulders, for developing our deltoids and developing strength through the shoulders as well. So how this is one of the most bastardized exercises is primarily on the side of we use too much weight and we do not have a great mind-muscle connection to this area. So the lateral delt is actually a very small muscle. You can't use a lot of weight to stimulate it because it is simply just not strong enough. But what happens is we see people all the time using too heavy of dumbbells, and simply put, they are lifting with their traps. We are using momentum with the exercise, which number 1 does not stimulate the muscle to grow, and number 2, we are using our traps to lift that exercise up, which takes a lot of the lateral delt out of the exercise. So as we're using too heavy, what will happen is we kind of haul it up, we come up here, we try to pause at the top. However, gravity being very weak in this position, we're gonna actually drop these dumbbells, which means we don't get a lot of eccentric part of the exercise as well. So what we want to do to correct this is obviously dropping the weight. So we want to drop the weight to an amount that we can lift up the weight with the actual muscle group that we're looking to develop. So with the lateral head of the deltoid. So as we're coming up, we're lifting up in a nice controlled way. We can get a slight pause at the top, keeping our arms relatively straight. We don't need to lock out at the elbows. So relatively straight, and then controlling the eccentric portion of the exercise in front of us. So again, we want a little bit of a stretch through that lateral deltoid there. So we want the dumbbells in front of us. So as we come up, we lift up, keeping our shoulders nice and tall, coming back down, keeping control of the weight. So again, we're not using the traps, we're not using momentum, and most importantly, we're not hauling back with our lower back as well. We're utilizing the actual shoulder joint for what it was developed to do and what we actually want it to do, which is developing the muscle there. So exercise number 2 that I feel is the most bastardized within the gym is a unilateral leg movement, which is the step up. Yes, the step up I feel is one of the more bastardized exercises inside the gym walls for multiple different reasons. This one's victim to a number of different issues. So number 1 being it lacks the mind-muscle connection that we actually need to perform this exercise properly and get the most out of it. Number 2 is that we try to make this exercise much easier than it really is. So again, whether that's conscious or unconscious, we're trying to make this exercise way too easy for ourselves because this is an extremely difficult exercise. And number 3, once again, we fall victim to moving up in weight and progressing that way before we're actually using the form and technique to see the full benefit of this exercise. So what are the issues? Well, number 1, again, we're using too much weight as we're starting off. So it makes it extremely difficult for our one leg to actually pull our other leg up onto the bench. So what actually happens is we use our back foot to use momentum and jump ourselves up onto the top of the bench at the top part of this position. So as we're coming back down, we also just use gravity to help us drop down. So we see a number of different flaws in just that alone. So what we need to do is we need to slow this exercise down once again. We need to concentrate on the muscle group that we want to be using. And we need to make sure that we're actually using the front leg on top of the bench to pull our weight up and lift that back leg up beside it rather than jumping the back leg up to the bench. So what I recommend right off the bat is drop all weight. Just do body weight step ups. get that muscle activation, feel comfortable doing the movement, make sure that you have the balance and stability to do so as well, unsupported, and if needed, lower the surface that you're stepping up on. It doesn't matter whether you're stepping up onto the highest bench you can or the lowest box you can find at the gym. The important part is muscle engagement and making sure that this exercise is actually going to pay off for you. Okay, we finally reached number 3, the most bastardized exercise inside the gym as determined by myself, in my own opinion, of course. And this one's a little bit of a cheat. It's less of an exercise and it's more of an exercise modality. It's actually called HIIT. High intensity interval training. So HIIT is one of the most bastardized forms of exercise, yet is one of the most popular you will see inside the gym and on social media. You'll see that almost every gym has a HIIT class now available. Most trainers are advertising HIIT programs to see better results, to burn body fat, and to build muscle, all at the same time. But HIIT training has become bastardized in so many different ways. So the biggest way that HIIT training has been bastardized is this increased focus on how many reps you're doing rather than the quality of reps that we're doing. So instead of looking at it like we're trying to do as many squat jumps in 1 minute as possible with good form, we instead look at it as many squat jumps as possible, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. But instead, we should be shifting our focus on the quality of reps, because if we don't, if we're just doing squat jumps for a minute at a time, where our form's gonna fall apart, we're gonna develop very poor movement patterns, and we can actually develop injuries from these issues as well. So instead of looking at doing as many as we can, these short, crappy, cardiovascular-based squat jumps, we should be looking at high-quality, explosive movement squat jumps. Now, a lot of you might say, like, but Rich, I have knee issues. I can't jump that high. I can't focus on that high impact. Well, you shouldn't be doing HIIT training then. You should be doing corrective exercises. You should be strengthening that area. You should be working with a physiotherapist, chiropractor, massage therapist to help get that injury taken care of, rather than trying to do a fat burning HIIT class and working through that pain, because it's only going to make it worse. So again, an increased attention should be brought to the quality of rep rather than the quantity of reps. Now, with that being said as well, sometimes these intervals are way too long without rest to allow the body to actually recover when it comes to the muscular side of things. Now, this makes these classes glorified cardio classes. We're doing the exact same thing as running on the treadmill. Yes, we're using our muscles, but we're not using them in a way that's actually going to help you grow these muscles. Now, cardiovascular training is a very catabolic exercise, which means that it's going to break down our body, which is fine if we're looking to lose body fat. However, what we also want to do is build up our body with anabolic exercise, and that comes down to resistance training. And again, I can hear people saying, Rich, there is resistance training in HIIT. That is very true. However, the way that we go about our resistance training in the HIIT exercises is totally wrong. So once again, not only are we going for high amounts of reps, we're not looking at the quality of rep, but we're also not looking at the weight that we're using. Because if we have to do a shoulder press for 1 full minute, guess what? You're not going to be able to use very much weight. So if you're using 10 pounds consistently for months on end, because we're not really tracking progress in HIIT classes necessarily, if we're using 10 pounds each and every time, we don't have added stimulus to that muscle. So especially if we're doing a shoulder press, eventually we need to move up. We need to change our rep scheme. We need to focus on building the strength there as well, not just the endurance of that exercise. And if we don't have the rest between, we're not going to get the same energy systems working for us that actually help us develop our lean muscle tissue. And when we develop lean muscle tissue, this helps increase our metabolism, which in the long run helps us drop body fat as well. So when we're looking at the new version of HIIT training, not only are we doing it for too long, not only are we doing it with crappy reps, but we're not using sufficient amount of resistance to see the results that are being claimed by people. So what we need to do is, on the flip side, is if we're doing HIIT training, and don't get me wrong, HIIT training is a great way to get moving. If you are doing a traditional, a new age, I guess I should say, HIIT class these days, that's fine. It's better than doing nothing. Keep doing it. If you enjoy it, keep going. That's the biggest thing with exercise, is keep doing what you really like. But what I want you to focus on is quality of rep, making sure that if your quality of rep suffers, that is when your rest period begins, and that you're using sufficient amount of resistance to stimulate your body to build lean muscle mass. So in my opinion, that's why I feel HIIT training is one of the most bastardized forms of exercise that you can find in gyms these days. And there you have it, folks. 3 of what I feel are the most bastardized exercises that you will see inside the gym. But I want to hear from you. What are some exercises that you consistently see being done, whether it's poorly or ineffectively? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you on that side of things. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe for all future RK Athletics videos coming out. We have lots of fun stuff on the way. As always, you can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter at RKAthletics1. Make sure you follow those for more free fitness advice, lifestyle tips, and nutritional help as well. If you yourself are struggling in the fitness area, please contact me on any one of the social media platforms. I'd love to help out. We have online training and in-person training available for each and every one of you. So guys, thank you so much for joining me, and make sure that you are living your life to the fullest with RK Athletics.